to relax and paint today, and I'm going to do a little Christmas painting, which you probably saw when you were coming on. I'm using some apple red and magenta. By the way, I'm using all multi-surface paints, which the lid has some of the metal, wood, glass, canvas. I'm doing art paper today, so it can be framed easy, and it is luscious, thick. It's perfect for one stroke painting. And so I want you to know the next thing that you need to know is when you're painting with one stroke, we're using my one stroke brushes, which are different than most brushes. They have a spring that's different, and the bristles are usually longer. This brush I wet in the beginning and then lay it on the paper towel to take out the moisture, because we don't want to use water because we'll lose our blending and shading. Those come in a set of 10 brushes, which is the value pack. All right, then I'm going to use some stencil brushes today. This is my new set. It's got a 20 in it, a 16 and a 12, and it's synthetic nylon, so it doesn't go under the stencil like the dry rough brushes do. So that's exciting to share with you. All this is on onestroke.com. All right, so we've got beautiful, luscious colors, and I'm going to kind of tell you the colors as we go. Instead of water to paint with, we use floating medium. And floating medium, the best one is the 8-ounce one because we use it all the time. But we do have 2-ounce bottles, okay? So just to let you know, that's what, when you see what's the clear liquid, ma'am, that's what it is. And I'm using my double loader today. And lots of people have problems with double loading. So this, I put the colors next to each other I'm going to use. So just be watching that. And on my tutorials, I teach you all about double loading and how to make that happen. This is the lid that goes on. I have a little lid that goes over the floating medium, and this lid goes over the top of this. You dampen the sponge, lay it on there, and the moisture there is locked in, and your paints can stay in here if you don't use them all over and over. You can keep using and adding to it. And I've had people tell me they've gone 30 days and they still stay fresh, just to let you know. All right. Just a little hint about some of that. If you're brand new, that you might appreciate that. All right, so I've dampened it. You've already seen this is a 12 flat. I'm picking up Coffee Latte and Burnt Umber. And I'm going to come to another cubby and work it in. All right, so we pick it up and we work it in. Now you want this to be 2/3 up your brush, okay? And so I can dip into some white and get a little lighter color. But now I'm going to take a branch across here for Christmas. And I'm going to touch just a little bit of medium so that this brush moves easily for me, all right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come across here and have little teeny branches that come all different ways along here, right? I just like to put lots of different branches so it has something to hang from. And this is just kind of fun. So it's a fun little piece to, like I said, to frame in any of those, even with glass on them, that you can get at good deals, especially during the holiday season. There you go. So now I'm going to paint some little hanging pieces from here and a little bit of berries and holly and stuff. All right, so before I get started, this is something you can do before or after dry. This is my heat pen, and it's quiet, and we can really quickly dry. I only got one little spot because what I want to show you is that it's fun to put little snowflakes. This is a 6x6 snowflake, And this is a 6x6 cherry blossom. And all of these are kind of fun things that you can add. And so I wanted to come in here with a stencil. This little trick with stenciling, just making sure that you're comfortable with it, is that we are going to just come in here with a little bit of, if I pick up medium gray and white, I can take and rub it in to just get a really faint gray. And you only want it on the tip of the brush, okay? So I'm going to come here and kind of rub it off on the paper towel because this is everybody's mistake. All right. They go right to the stencil and make a goopy mess, kind of. So I thought, what if we put some different snowflakes that barely show? I go to the left and to the right. And what's good about these brushes, they only do the spot you want to do. I can even go to the smaller one here, but I want you to lift it up and see. Oop, that's a little bit darker than I want to be. So this is easy. I'm going to do one more, that color. All right. Then I'm going to pick up just a teeny bit more white. All right. So let's see what that looks like. If you're careful with this, all around the edges, left and right. And then that gets all the grooves. And I'm going to get those little dots out there. And tap. Wait, so now what? See the faded ones? Now we might paint over some of this, but I just thought it'd be really fun to have this as a background. Okay. And another one over here. See this? So this lasts a long time. You see that on the brush? Left and right. Put a couple of these little dots. Oh, see, I think that's going to make it look great. So maybe I'm not going to use this. I'll save this one for something else. I use this right here. You can see for the background. And you can do the background any color. And then that's my bumblebee stencil. Okay. So just letting you see that. All right. So what we want to do then, we're going to come in here and wait a minute. Okay. We're going to come in here and add a few more. All right. I can also later come in here and add some, but I'm going to go back to what I mean by later is if you're not too sure if you want that many there or not. Okay, so that's got a lot of paint. So remember, you got to rub it off. All right, then that means there's not big goopy edges. All right, so I'm going to come here. Remember, I thought this was good, but it was just too dark. So I need some more dark to make it flow. And design-wise, if you just do a triangle, like see the triangle of darker. So this one's kind of hanging. And we're going to have this. Here's a big one. This might be covered with flowers I'm going to put on there. I'm going to hang ornaments and different. I haven't decided everything I'm going to do yet. Okay, so see, those are darker. And look, this almost got blurry, this one. That's the first one I did. So it's so important that we get really light. So by the time I'm here, this one's going to be a lot lighter. I can tap a little bit. So let's just get some white, which will just pick up a little bit of that gray. All right, see that? So remember, we want really pastel. So I can go way up here. And then we'll come right over here. Left, right. I see I'm going right over the branch, and that's okay too. All righty, there we go. We'll put a bow or something there. One. Okay, there we go. So see, that just gives you an illusion in the background that is kind of pretty. All right. Okay, so I'm gonna, when I clean that brush, that synthetic nylon brush, I'm raking one way, just downward on my basin. Put these away. All right. So now let's work on some of the accents that we're going to put on here. Okay. So I can make with a dauber. I've got this big dauber, and I'm going to make a couple ornaments. Okay. So where did I put my play? There we go. All right. So I'm going to pick up some magenta. This sponge is dry. Okay. So I'm mixing the apple red and the magenta on these hanging pieces. Now, this is a little hint. I shouldn't have gone into so much pink first. I should have gone into white and then picked up a little bit of pink, because then it's going to use all my white to get it light enough. Okay, so see, it's covering the whole piece. Now, you notice I used two colors. Now, I can put the lines down to hold these, but I'm going to sit here and go ahead and push and twist. Okay, these daubers come in a package of all kinds of sizes. Okay, so I can make it bigger. There we go. By making the circle just a little bit bigger and twist it so I have a glow. See? And I might put one more down here. And push hard, then tap, 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 tap. Okay. All right. So I'm only going to use that. I'm going to put a little bit of white in here. Excuse me. Get a little bit of white glow. I'll put that white glow on the top over here. All right. So that was magic, right? Okay. So I'm going to put that to the side. So I showed you a couple of tips and tricks already. All right. Now, what I want to do is I want to make a couple poinsettias, but we are also, let's take a small scruffy. And this is my 1/4 inch scruffy. Okay. And you flip, these are the only natural hairs, this one and the big scruffy. Okay. All right. And I have a middle scruffy too, a 1/2 inch. All right. So what I'm going to do is we're going to use this bright green. It's kind of fun. And it's called Happy Green. I was trying to find the bottle for you, but that's okay. All right. So I'm going to tap. All right. Now, one thing I want to do is just get a circle. All right. So it's going to be a fun wreath. You can take something and make a circle with a pencil to make sure that you have a good shape. I'm going to use a small brush to make some little leaves on here. And this would be like the background of the wreath. It's all greenery. Then I can come out here and make it a little fuzzy on the outside edge. Do you see that? You know how I made it fuzzy on the outside? Okay. I want the inside to look like a nice circle too. I was a little off there. All right. And so I want to go ahead and put that in the water, but since it's natural hairs, I pounce that one to clean it. Okay. All right. So I'm gonna get a 6 flat and a 2 flat, and I will use those later to make the detail on there. Okay. We're gonna decorate these ornaments later, but before I go any further, we're gonna there's a 2 script liner and a 1 script liner, right? So this is for long, skinny, thin details. And then there is another one for small, like beaks and little things that I need, like even a little teeny flower. Those are different liners, okay? So one thing I do to get a really nice straight line that we're gonna do on here is I'm gonna decide, say I want some little hangers. Let's pick up the magenta and the pink. Pink, apple red, a little bit of medium, and then touch those two again. Okay, this is on an angle brush. All right. So what I'm going to do is I might take this one from right here and bring it straight down. All right. And then right here, I'm going to take it right to there and pull it straight down. As straight as you can. I'm going to put flowers. You can see that's not super straight, but this angle brush makes vines and stems really easy for you. All right, so I might wash this out and just pick up some of this green here, and we're going to put this through here. Maybe it's going to come right across the top. There we go. All right, there's a few. And I'm going to come over here and maybe we'll put a green ornament here. So as I'm coming down here, I kind of went to the side. So you know what? I'll just make my ornament there since I kind of made it not so good. So I'm going to come back here to my plate with a smaller dauber because a couple different daubers come in the bag. All right. And a teeny bit of white. So see how I put that white on the outside edge? All right. So I'm going to see it's cute because it's going to go over that snowflake too a little bit, which is fun. Push and twist, push and twist. See, I can cover up that one. I kind of didn't do so good. So see, the green's kind of nice, and I'll put a green along here too. All right, so I shouldn't wet that in case I'm going to need it, but I'm going to go ahead and put it in there anyway. And we do have at the top of these ornaments, I like to put a little bit, it could be gold. Let's see. Let me get my gold. So I could put a little bit of gold on the top. I like to paint out of the lid of the treasure gold. It's treasure gold, okay? Treasure gold, gold. All right. Treasure golds now are water soluble. They're not. They're easy now because you can use water to clean up, which I love. Also, they come in crazy lots of colors now. So I'm just putting a little cap at the top. And we'll put one right there. Okay. I love see how the snowflakes are showing up from behind. I think that's fun. Okay, we'll close this because I'm going to use that some more. All right, so that looks a little crooked. Don't worry about it because we're going to put flowers on there. So this is what I'm going to do. I am going to actually use this. This comes in a set of angle brushes, and this is the 3/8 angle brush. Okay. So the first thing I did was I I'm going to go between these two colors, all right? So this is magenta and apple red. And so I'm going to get both colors on it, which I thought would be kind of nice. And actually, on the pink, you can put a little bit of white. All right, so what I want you to see with the angle brush, you have a toe and a heel. And so you decide what color you want on which part of that, okay? So here, look, I got an idea. That snowflake can give you the points for your poinsettia. So I'm going to wiggle out, all right? And if you have enough paint on here, you don't need to get medium. I'm going to wiggle out. All right, so I'm going to go back, touch this paint again, flatten it, wiggle out. And if you do that like that, the toe will give you the point. So how good is that? I'm going to keep picking up paint here because we're on paper, so paper gets kind of dry. See that pink? How nice that looks. All right. So I want to make that a little bit bigger and put a little bit more white. All right, so let's come back here. This one didn't go quite as big. But see, so that snowflake showed me exactly where to put these points. It's kind of nice, huh? Okay, so now I'm going to come back in here again and bring some right in front. Okay, so let's pick up a little bit more white on the pink so that this shows. All right, so we put a second layer. I'm going to get a little bit more white because I really want it to show there. See how we're going in between each one? I'm trying to teach you a lot of tricks this morning. Okay. Now, who knows when you're watching this, but okay. And then I can put some green. And I'm going to go ahead and bring this down because the green's going to go around. That's going to be pretty. And we're going to put little teeny centers in here. So, all right, 1, 2, 3. See that? And I'm going to actually, let me show you. You can put a little white or, oops, I did not go into the lid like I wanted. So, okay, there we go. There. All right, so I'm going to take off that green. Okay. See, this is going to be metallic in here. And so as you look at it in the light, it's going to really pop for you. Okay, so I can come back and do all that little detail later. I just wanted to show you how fun that is. All right, so now I'm going to mostly make a red one. And so I'll put pink in afterwards. So if you want some depth, I can come over here to the sap green, which it looks black, but it's just dark green. And that gives you some depth right here. And I put that on the heel. Okay, so let's come over here and make a bigger one. All right, so I'm going to do right here. I'm going to space it out. See, a little bit larger. And I'm doing the dark in here to help. Oops, I want to get a teeny bit of medium because we're on paper and I want it to slide. And so this is the magic word. You want it to feel like butter, like you're spreading butter. That's how you want it to feel. Okay, so I'm going to just push these and make them a little heavier looking, a little fuller. Okay, so let's go out a teeny bit more. All right. Now I'm going to come in here with pink. So remember, we just got a teeny bit of white because I want this magenta to be on top because then it'll pull it into the other colors, right? So we're going to come right in here and you're going in between each one like we did before. All right. A little bit more pink, a little bit more pink. So the dark underneath gives you a little bit of depth, which is nice. Okay. And I'm going to pick up just a little bit heavier pink in a couple of spots. See that? And then we'll come back and do the center for that. All right. So what I want to do is I want to put some, remember I told you we could put little teeny leaves with a small, this is going to be a 2. All right. So I'm going to come around with sap. And I always wet the brush first and then I tap it off. All right. So we're going to come right around here. And we're just going to put little leaves all around. See, I move my piece, and then lots of people ask me, can I turn my piece around? So this is showing you you can turn it around. I know it's easier sometimes to leave it going upward for the camera, but I think it's important to show you that we're just pushing, pressure left, pressure left. All right. So we put those little leaves and then we're going to come in here with this happy green, which is the wreath itself. And that doesn't show well. So I'm going to pick up some white and you can't split this brush too easy in that double loader. But that doesn't show. So look, I can grab white and bring it over here. Okay. So that you can see some extra light color. And that's all too, because I'm not into a lot of small painting, but I've always wanted to do this. I thought this would be cute. All right. Now, one thing that's really fun, we can use, like I said, I'm going to go ahead and do this because we need to do the center. This is the Wipe Way tool, and we call it a kiss tool because it's shaped like a kiss. And they're right on onestroke.com. All my tools, because people always ask, where can we get them? I'm not doing a commercial, but I want you to know if you want to get something I'm showing you, like we have sets of paints and kits, sets of paint specials all the time of my most used colors so that you can paint with me each week. So do you see I'm doing 3 dots? 1, 2, 3. And you have to have fresh paint when you do the dots. And this is rubbery, so it makes it really nice to wipe away things too if you're not happy. I can also use the handle of this brush or any other brush and come in here and put berries around. And as you dot, 1, 2, 3, they get smaller as you go. But I want all those berries bigger, I think. And you want to be in fresh paint. You can't be in dried paint. So a lot of people tend to do that. They kind of try to use this little bit of dried up paint. It's got to be thick, fresh paint. Okay. So I'm also thought, let's make this one kind of like a polka dotted one where I'm going around and I'm randomly doing spots. See the triangle? All right. Oops, that one got a little big. It's kind of interesting. But we can also come in here and do little white dots. Oops. Uh-oh, I gotta make that a bigger dot because I messed up that one. I let it turn on its side and we want it to be just the tip. I hope you've learned something this morning. And I think that you can have fun creating rosebuds on here, all kinds of other flowers. All right. And the last thing I want to do is we're going to go to, I had a 6 in here. Oh, maybe I used it already. Okay. We're going to tie bows first. All right. So I'm going to roll this 2 script liner and I'm going to make little bows. I need a little bit of water in that and roll it. I only use water on the script liner. Okay, so we can go like this, make a little knot there. We can go here and make a double again. All right. And then we want, you can also, if you're not happy with your edges, because paper sometimes will keep it a little dry, you can go back and touch them up. Okay. Just remember that. That makes it good too. Or you can take metallic gold around that. All right. So we need some of this green. And we also need a little bit of water in that. Okay. So let's go 1, 2. So you make it kind of loose. Oh my gosh. I'm a little shaky this morning. There we go. So I'm going to pull this down. Okay, I touched that, so I'm going to have to put a little leaf there because that's what I'm going to do now to finish up. We're going to put some little holly across the top and just see how fun it is. You just create whatever look that you want. I'm going to come in between the two because we're going to double load. Come here and work it in. Pick up both colors, work it in. And I like you to go quick on this so it gets inside the bristle. And you might only need one color, not both colors. And you see me, I dipped it. Okay, so let's come along here first. We're going to come up here and we're going, so it's dry. Usually when it's small, you don't have to do that. All right, so I had to get a little bit of medium. All right, so watch this. It's a point, 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 and pull. All right, and then you pull a stem. Now, one thing you can do, I'm going to come over here because I messed that up. My finger touched it, so I'm going to go over that bow a little bit. All right, and then we'll put little berries. But one thing you can do, put a little pine needle, is you're going to see how we did the poinsettias and we didn't do the points. Because at first, some of you might have a hard time doing that. Just I want you to see is that you can push down and push down on this, and that'll work too. But I like to come in here with a little bit of inky sap. And look, you can go just out here and do points like that. If you don't feel like you're comfortable making those points, look, you can go 1, 2, 3, 4, and come back on the other side. And then you pull your stem into the middle. Okay? So there's 2 different ways. If your points aren't good, then you can come back and make points. And then I'm just going to go 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay. And you're going to keep going, you can also come in here and have some little berries coming off. And I can put red mixed in there, apple red with the magenta, okay? And have those here and there. Okay. Oops. Right. And they have little green sprays to them. If you want, or you could just leave sprays. Okay, so I'm just a little bit more, and actually, you guys can just look at some of the picture that I finished after you guys were on. So let's watch this one more time. I'm going to go point, 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 point. Okay. Let's come here, go up to a point, come back into the middle, up to a point, and then come back. So we take the chisel of the brush, which is this edge, and we come in there. All right, and I'm also telling you some of this was with the angle brush or this brush. I'm going to come across here. We just want a couple leaves. Just make it right into there. All right. That turned out kind of pretty. So I'm just going to keep going in here. There we go. You decide how many you want on here. You don't have to put a ton. Sparse is better on this kind of look. But how y'all like the stencil in the background now? Now, the thing I want you to understand is when you're all done like this, it's very easy to come back when everything's dry and lay some more snowflakes on. Okay? Because when you're looking at them really close, they can be metallic, they can be all kinds of fun looks. Okay? And I also like to flick it sometimes with glitter, but you guys have fun. I'm going to sign it and share it. Okay. And I'll see you. Don't forget Friday. I teach you all kinds of goodies on Fridays. All right. Because that's practice strokes. And I don't know about you, but lots of times when I want to learn something fun, I want to practice. I'm going to kind of frame this a little short, but you might want to wait till you know where you're going to frame it because I got to cut off some of this where my fingers hit. Okay. Sound fun? Thank you guys. Bye bye.